If you're tired of hearing the same old basic mindset and motivational fluff talk, you've come to the right show. Welcome to ProjectME with Tiffany Carter, the podcast, where we dish on everything from managing that crazy brain of yours to manifesting abundance to my straightforward, actionable steps that will make you major money online. Now, I'm not your typical multimillionaire entrepreneur. It takes a small village to keep my anxiety and depression in check. I'm inherently disorganized with an intense obsession with office supplies. Your girl here is a digital marketing content expert who's generated over $200 million in sales. I promise by tuning in twice a week, you will get a much needed refreshing dose of truth, clarity, and cash-making advice. Now let's get to it. What up, my people, my posse, my fellow crazies? This is part 2 of our special money mindset series. We are covering today addressing your money wounds so they can fully heal. And I was pulling up some of the key points I want to share with you today. And my affirmation app that just randomly sends me affirmations, this came up. Moments that feel like they are holding me back are actually what is launching me forward. Let me read that again to you. Moments that feel like they are holding me back are actually launching me forward. Because right now, I know you're feeling things aren't working how you wanted them to work. Maybe you're not making as much as you thought you would make. Your business feels down. It feels harder. You see other people that seem to be having no problem with the flow of money, and you feel like you're struggling and you don't want to be in that spot and you don't know what you're doing wrong. And then all the scarcity stuff comes up. What am I going to do? Something needs to change soon. And it could be you are making money, but what you're having to do to make it is draining the hell out of you. So you're bankrupt in some area. Some area is lacking. It could be energetically, it could be your freedom, it could be time, it could be money, it could be your energy, it could be joy bankrupt, you're not having any fun, it could be creatively bankrupt, it could be all of it. All of it could be happening right now. But you need to trust that whatever is happening right now, you're in this spot for a reason or you wouldn't be in this spot. So the universe, God, your higher power, whatever you believe in, has you in this spot right now, just as it's had you in other spots in your life. Painful, wildly abundant, beautiful, amazing, crazy, tragic. We have to have all these facets in our life. We have to have the polarity. We have to have the yin and yang. You can't escape it. It can't always be feeling good. We don't grow when we just feel good. We don't grow when we're feeling calm and content and serene. In fact, we are forced and we force ourselves to take different action and do new things and make big changes and big shifts only when we're in pain. None of us do it when we're moderately comfortable or when we're maybe a little bit frustrated. Most of us only make major shifts in our lives and in our mindset, in things we're doing, things we need to stop doing, boundaries we need to set, people we need to let go of, finally making that move, finally doing that pivot in your business, finally fucking investing in someone who's really going to help you, and it's maybe more money than you've ever invested before, but you're in enough discomfort, you're struggling enough, you're in enough pain that you're like, okay, I've got to do it. I've got to stop messing around. That's exactly how I ended up with my first long overdue business mentor. It took me almost 5 years. I was doing it all on my own by the skin of my teeth. And was I bringing in money? Yeah. I was bringing in more money than I was making in my corporate job, but I was stuck and I was bankrupt in every other area in my life. And I tell you guys this all the time. You can get to $320,000. It's pretty fucking simple. When you follow my strategy, when you have the mindset support plus the strategy with it, really is simple. Notice I didn't say easy. It's not easy, not because the strategy isn't easy and straightforward. It's because we get in our own way and we have all of these wounds. That would how when people go, marriage should be easy. I'm sorry, but no, it's not easy. It requires work. Speak to anyone. You could be one of them who's been married a long time. It's hard. There's periods you go through where you don't want to be with that person, where you want to divorce that person, where you can't stand how that person breathes or chews, where you fantasize about not being with that person. There's ebbs and flows. This is the law of polarity. It can't always be good. It can't always feel good, because if it always felt good, we wouldn't dig deep to do things differently. I just went through, and I'm still going through it, but I'm coming out of it. I'm thawing out of it. But like a 3-week period from having COVID, having a lot of time with this brain, and some deep-seated beliefs that I thought I'd really got a handle on reared their ugly head. And one of my money wounds that I only talked about in my posse membership is I have this belief that was demonstrated to me, said to me, and then I was in professions that just really magnetized that and validated that shit scarcity belief that if I'm not hustling, pushing, working, then you can't have success. You can't luxuriate and make a lot of money. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Now, can you just start out a business and kind of just chill and luxuriate and expect to bring in a lot of money? No. But you also don't have to do the other extreme of killing yourself and nonstop working for it. There is a balance there. But because I was in so much discomfort and I was forced to not do, and I didn't have the creative energy and I didn't have the mental bandwidth, it brought up that belief again because it scared me. And it was brought up because it needed to, because there's more healing work to be done around it. I was supposed to have this happen so I could do more healing work, because the universe knows that's what's preventing my next level growth. So you're in the state you're in now of maybe you've spent more money than you're making. Maybe you're trading so much time for money and you hate that. Maybe you're not really loving what you do. Maybe you're resenting your work. Maybe you've been holding back long enough and toe dipping and trying to figure things out yourself and doing this little program here and that little program here instead of going for the gold, right? Instead of buying the damn bag that you really want, that you've been coveting and that you really desire, you've been buying the knockoffs and expecting to have the same feeling and expecting to have the same result. Maybe that's why you're in pain, but the pain has a purpose. The pain is part of this journey, just that affirmation said that I got. In order for you to be successful, you have got to go through the pain. There's no way around it. It's there to serve you. It's there to teach you. You owe it to yourself to do this. It's easy to get caught up in focusing how much something will cost you. It's so expensive. I don't want to spend that right now. What if it doesn't work? I wanted to just focus on my kids this summer and myself. And if I launch this thing or I go deeper into this thing or this avenue in my business, then I'm going to have no time to do this. Like, you're living in these extremes. And it's a natural human fear response. It is. And what does fear stand for? False evidence appearing real. Anytime we allow fear to make our choices for us, we end up paying a big price. One of my private clients said to me on an application call recently, because I just opened up, I just felt that this was right. Normally, I don't open up my private coaching applications for my famous 2-month private business coaching program until the fall. But I decided that I'm opening up midsummer and early fall applications. Now, I only take 6 people at a time, but I want to let you know those are open. That link is in the show notes to apply. And then we'll see if it's the right fit for you right now. And you may have seen, I also have launched my new ProjectME 6-month mastermind experience. So this is where you get me, my ProjectME dream team, plus the collective of 15 entrepreneurs who are going after those millions, honey, all together in 2022 and 2023. We start more towards the end of September, and it is already half full, and that was before we even officially launched it. So you can get more information, hear testimonials, and apply at projectmewithtiffany.com/mastermind. projectmewithtiffany.com/mastermind. That link is also in the bio. But whatever you're called to, don't hesitate and trust that, because this pain and fear state you're in is going to try to hold you back and keep you in the clutches of it. So you've got to go, what contrary action can I take? What wildly contrary action can I take to what this fear response in my brain is telling me? That's how we expand. That's how we grow. This is why we have to contract to expand. This is why there's ebbs and flows in every business. This is why there's ebbs and flows in every economy and in every industry. This is why there's ebbs and flows in your own body, ebbs and flows in your relationship, ebbs and flows in your mood, everything. Because we have to contract to expand. And you're probably in a contraction period of some sort right now. And it's not going to magically expand. You have to take action to lead there. So take that contrary action. And that's why I have two different ways. Some of you would prefer to have me all to yourself and work privately, and I totally get that. I like both. I like always being in a high-level group setting plus a private setting. But at a certain stage in my business, I only did private coaching, so I understand that. So that's available to you right now. You have both of those options. And of course, we also have the ProjectME Posse group coaching membership. There's some new member spots available. And that's like an entry level way to work with me, or an adjunct. Most of my private clients and my mastermind students are also in the Posse, because you get that additional support. You get that group camaraderie. You get to actually be in a community, and we focus a lot on this money mindset stuff in there as well. So I wanted you to make sure the options to get that support from me, so you take them and you don't miss those. Because when you're sitting in resistance, you can talk yourself out of everything, but that's not working for you, is it? It's not serving you. It's not growing. You are either taking actions and making choices and having thoughts that are going to keep you in a contracted state where you're just bound up, you're all tense, you're clenching, or you're taking actions and making choices and doing things that will lead you to an expansive state. And that is a choice. And you doing nothing, by the way, is a choice. You doing nothing is a contraction state. Because you've done nothing long enough, and doing nothing can maybe feel safe to you versus doing something, taking a risk, spending money. I'm not sure if I'll get it back. Will this really work? So it can feel safer to do nothing. And if your brain is saying things like, I'll just keep trying this a little longer. Oh, I guess I'll just figure this out. That's a clue that your brain is keeping you in a contraction state. Trying is not an action, nor is figuring it out. It is not a profitable business plan. Imagine if you fucking said that on the Shark Tank. Mark Cuban would be like, so you want me to invest in your business and invest my time and my intellectual property, my expertise, and how you are planning on growing it is by trying, and you're going to keep trying, and you're going to figure things out and just keep hoping and posting. I think not. One of my private clients said to me on an application call recently that she didn't know if she could afford to work with me right now. Now, my initial thought is always slightly annoyed. My fellow service-based entrepreneurs and coaches listening will get this. It was like, okay, well then why did you apply to work with me? It's like very weird when people say that. I have that initial thought, even after all these years of doing it, coaching thousands of people privately, coaching well over 150,000 people in group settings. I still have those thoughts. Okay. But then I quickly remember that her fear is running the show right now, just as mine does when I go to invest in my business in a major way, or when I go to take some big expansive action. I have the same. I'm crazy too, because fear makes us think crazy things. So I asked her, what is your plan to get to where you want to be in your business if you don't hire me to show you how? And I was silent for a bit, and she had to process that for a few beats. I asked this question to move her into the logical side of her brain and out of the emotional fight, flight, or freeze response, right? She's in this response that is insane. It doesn't make sense. It's not serving. It's in scarcity. It's in panic. We don't make any good decisions out of that space. So I, as her coach, even though she hasn't paid me yet, she hasn't hired me yet, I am still her coach on that call. I still am here to serve her on that call. So it's my job to move her out of that state so she can best make a clear decision from an expanded state, not a fear state, because our jobs are to help someone best help themselves. And if I had just gone, okay, well, hit me up when you think you can afford me right now, I'm not serving her at her highest. That doesn't work. Her reply was, I have no plan, which is why I applied to work with you. I'm just scared. This is huge for me, but I know I need to do it. And I just nodded my head in reassurance. We don't need to convince anybody. That's not our jobs. We don't need to convince someone to love us, to work with us, to pay us, to hire us. But it is our job to hold space and help someone be in their logical mind so they can make a decision from an abundant space and an expanded space. There is no one that comes to me that isn't scared, that isn't even terrified of any level. I have a person who just came to me who's close to $1 million a year in her business, but she's killing herself and launching nonstop all these fucking micro offers, and she is exhausted. And she feels out of integrity because she's exhausted, but she teaches other people how to make money. And she doesn't like how she's making money, which is messing with her. And she has plenty of money, but she's scared. It wasn't about the money. It was about that maybe I'm going to have her do something so radically different that she's going to lose everything she's built. And she's really come accustomed to loving this lifestyle that she's built for herself. Because she has a belief that she has a belief that in order for her to be making $870,000 a year, which is a great amount of money, in order for her to be making that, she already has evidence that doing what she's doing and being energetically bankrupt, time bankrupt, trapped, feeling trapped, all these things, that's what got her there. She has evidence of that. So if I'm going to change that up, oh my God, that's scary. She could lose that. And it's all relative. Maybe you're at $5,000 a month. Maybe you're at $15,000 a month. Maybe you're at $25,000 a month. And you know what you did to get you there. So if you're going to work with me and I'm going to have you do something different and we're going to make shifts and we're going to make boss moves, I could lose all that. It feels risky. It feels scary because I like this money, or I like how my life is set up. I like how much time I have. I like the time I have with my family. I like that I'm not always on my phone. I like that I'm not working. So you're having this belief that in order to get what you want, you're going to have to sacrifice and do something that you're going to have to make a trade. You're going to have to make a deal with the devil. That's all coming out of fear and crazy thinking, because that's not true. It's the opposite. It's just like what my first business mentor said to me. I was convinced he was going to tell me I was going to have to do more. I was going to have to do all these other things. And I was already so exhausted and doing so many things. I was like, that was part of my resistance of hiring a coach and hiring a business mentor, is because I didn't have it in me to do more things. And I just made an assumption I was going to have to do more things in order to make more money or to get to the level I want, because that was in my rooted beliefs. And so when I just sent an email out to you guys, I think it was a week ago, so go look and find it, sharing the story. You should read my fucking emails. I'm the one who's writing them, and you should read them. They're short, but very impactful and designed to put you back into that abundant state and to get you back into a logical mind from crazy thinking, to get you into an expansive state from a contracted state. But he looked at me, I'll never forget it, because I was waiting for him to just spill all the shit I needed to do. And he goes, the problem is you're doing too much. Less is more. And I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, this is crazy. And I go, what? And I go, but if I do less, then I'll make even less, and I'll even have less results and less growth and He goes, how is doing all the things frantically and trying so hard and trying to figure it out and obsessing and ruminating and overthinking, how is that working for you? And I said, it's not. I want to quit multiple times a week. And so do you think you're going to be able to give yourself the permission to do something wildly different so you can have a different result? Are you in enough pain yet? Because if you're not, I can't work with you. And I say very similar things to you guys. If you come to me and you're like, I'm scared, I'm terrified, what if this doesn't work? I say, good. I need you to be in that state. Because if you're not in that state, you're not going to be willing to make the shifts that you need to make to expand to the new levels. You're just not going to be willing to do it. The wisdom that comes from being an entrepreneur for almost 15 years and coaching well over 150,000 people worldwide is I know how the human brain works and what to do to help you get out of your way. Oh, and by the way, the client I was referring to, and you know who you are because I know you've listened to every single episode of this show. She's now making over $1 million a year as a relationship healing coach in her business and helping thousands of more people that wouldn't have been helped otherwise if she hadn't expanded. Because when we expand our reach, we help other people expand. We have to go first. So by staying in a contracted state, you're going to help fewer people. How is that serving the greater good? We're meant to be here to expand. If we are not in a state where we are willing to take the risk and willing to be uncomfortable and willing to move to that next level, if we're not willing to do that, we're not going to be able to serve people at another level and make the difference that we want to make. Imagine if I'd never asked her that question, just let her get off the call. All those people and the ripple effect of those people. And then the ripple effect of those people, what would have happened? If I just let her hold on to all that fear nonsense in her mind. You owe it to yourself to assess how much it will cost you to stay in the same exact contracted state you're at now in 2 months or 6 months or another year. What is the cost factor here? And are you in enough discomfort right now and enough dissatisfaction and enough frustration to where you're willing to do something different to expand and to grow? If you are, I'm here to lead you the way. This is not something you should do alone. It doesn't work alone because when we're alone, we can't see our way out of the forest. We're like deep in this thick forest and we know there's a way out. We know it's there. We have a choice of so many different directions that we can go. And we're not sure which, and then we end up going one direction for a few miles. And oh God, I can't even see anything but trees for miles and miles. This must not be the right way. Oh, then I'll turn this way. Then I'll go this many miles this way. Nope, nothing there. And at some point, you're going to get tired of walking. You're going to get tired of going in all these directions. You're walking in circles, and you're going to end up wanting to quit. And it's going to be very hard to get yourself out of that thick forest. This is why I always say life is not meant to be done alone, and neither is entrepreneurship. It ends in failure. It ends in quitting. When we're left to our own devices, it's very dangerous because then all those fear thoughts and anxious thoughts, wounds, money traumas, all the stuff gets in our own way. And we end up walking ourselves in circles and burning ourselves out. And eventually most people quit, or they just stay in this contracted state for so long that it's like a slow death. I know, because I was in that contracted state before. And it's not necessary, and I don't want to see you there. So the end of summer applications, early fall applications are officially now open for my famous 2-month private business coaching program. Swipe up. The link is in the show notes to apply. I only take 6 clients at a time, so these fill up really quickly. And then we have the official launch of my new ProjectME 6-month mastermind experience. If you want to be in a collective, it's over 50% full right now. We start closer to the end of September. All the details, all the things, and to apply. That link is also in the show notes. You can swipe up or go to projectmewithtiffany.com/mastermind. And if this episode really breathed life into you and you're like, God, I want more of this. First of all, don't worry. This is a series, so we have several parts to this series. But I also created my summer abundance guided meditation walk, and that's designed for you to listen over and over again while being in movement. And I have that free for a limited time, and that is also linked in these show notes, and you can swipe up. And you're crazy not to get that. I even included a bonus, which is the number one self-doubt thought that you guys voted on. Hundreds of you guys voted on it, which is, I don't know if this is possible for me. I see other people doing it, but I doubt that I can do it, that it's really possible for me. And I address that self-doubt belief and I speak into it. And you do that while you're in motion and while you're in movement, coupled with the listening to these episodes. There is no way that it won't put your brain in a state where it's thinking more logically, where you can go, no, I know I have to take real action. I know I have to take different action here and I'm scared, but I need to take that expansive action. No matter how contracted I feel right now, if I want to get out of this, doing more of the same is only going to keep me in a contracted state. I need to take that contrary action. What is it for you? What is it for you today? If you appreciated this episode, if you're loving this series, if you want more of me speaking to and helping you heal these money wounds and get into the abundance zone and stay in an expansive state, I need you to give me a 5-star written review. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you can leave reviews. It takes you 30 seconds. You can leave your name or Instagram handle in the review. And I would love to treat you to a smoothie or a coffee drink of your choice. I do this at random times in the year, but I think it would be great because then you can go on your abundance walk and you can go pick up a Starbucks or you can go pick up some kind of a juice while you're going on your walk, and that will just complete that whole experience. So I am going to treat you to a smoothie or a coffee drink of your choice, but you need to leave a 5-star written review, put your name or Instagram handle in the review, and then take a screenshot of it and DM it to me on Instagram, just so that I can verify that you did it. If you forget to take a screenshot, it's okay. I'll trust you. Just DM me on Instagram, let me know you did it, and then I will happily treat you to a drink to accompany you on your abundance walk. Wishing you guys great health, wealth, and worth as always. Love you. If you enjoyed this podcast, please write a 5-star review on iTunes. Not only will this make me super happy, but it will allow more listeners to find our special show. Simply help me help others.